Warning: the following speech includes humorous references to infant bodily functions. Listener discretion is advised. Becoming a first-time parent is fraught with anxieties and unknowns. It's also a time of excitement and discovery. During the 9 months of pregnancy, you wonder what type of parent you'll be and what type of kids you'll have. You read a ton of books thinking you're going to get this parenting thing down perfect, unlike your own parents, and you buy everything you think you'll need. You make a ton of plans that you promise you're going to stick to. You and your partner smirk smugly to each other as the date gets closer, going, yeah, we got this. We're going to be perfect parents with a perfect kid. Oh boy, could you not be more wrong. You know why? Because you didn't ask your kid what they thought about all of your plans. Then they plop into the world, both figuratively and literally, and they basically let you know right away, that's nice, mom and dad, that you have all these plans. I'll show you what's what. As the saying goes, man plans and God laughs. In this case, it's mom and dad plan and baby laughs, or more to the point, screams, cries, pees, and poops all over your well-laid plans, and the playbook goes out the window. But that's okay. Kids make you adapt. They force you to be patient and into a mode of kill or be killed. I'm only half joking about that one. Now, this might sound scary, but it's really not. It can be really funny. It's an incredible roller coaster of an adventure, and it adds so much depth to your life. I want to take tonight to focus on the hilarity that parenting can include. I learned very early on in my oldest son's life that parenting was going to be a lot more interesting than I ever thought it could be. And I have 4 siblings. I'm the middle child. I have 2 younger sisters, so I changed a lot of diapers in my time. But man, oh man, when it's your own kid and it's a boy, it's a whole different story. There are a couple of anecdotes I want to share with you that showed me pretty early on that parenting was going to be a funny, wild, and yes, dirty ride along with everything else. My oldest son was born right before Passover in Israel. And what they do there is they let as much staff go as they possibly can to keep it pretty limited. And one thing they don't tell you as a parent, and you don't even think about, is that your kid has to poop before you are allowed to leave the hospital. I didn't know that. They didn't tell us anything about it. So when we took our son home, we're like, okay, we're excited. We're prepared. We've got our plans. And he didn't sleep a wink that first night. He was crying. He was just really grumpy. In Yiddish, we call it kvetchy. He couldn't settle. We were playing classical music, feeding him, changing him. Nothing worked. The next morning, after having slept all of about 5 minutes, I went to my son crying, going, oh my God, this kid is broken. We need to bring him back to the hospital. What's the warranty on this thing? I can't do this. I'm done. Later that morning, we went to change his diaper. And as we were changing his diaper, he started pooping. And I'm sorry to tell you all this. It looked like chocolate pudding. I kid you not. It didn't have a fetid smell. It just looked like chocolate pudding. And after having no sleep whatsoever, my husband and I literally fell on the floor, dying of laughter. And right after we finished changing his diaper, when he actually finished pooping, he slept for 12 hours straight. So obviously that was the problem. We learned later that he hadn't pooped before he left the hospital. Fast forward a few days, and it was the morning of his 8th day. And we were getting him ready to prepare him for his Brit Milah, his ritual circumcision. Now, my brother was the oldest, and I didn't change many of my nephew's diapers enough times to know that when baby boys pee, it can be quite the sprinkling experience. And I had no clue that if the baby gets cold, it can make them pee in between diaper changes. So the rabbi had told us that we're supposed to change his diaper right before we bring him to the synagogue. So me and one of my sister-in-laws went to go and change his diaper. As we were getting the new diaper, he started peeing. And he peed in this long, wide arc. It looked like a rainbow, and it went more than halfway across the room. My sister-in-law and I were laughing so hard that we didn't even think to try to stop it, even when I noticed that the pee was getting on my laptop. And we just by the time we thought, oh, maybe we should try to do something about it, he had already stopped peeing. Now, I have three boys. I'm a boy mom, and I have to say that each time something like this has happened with one of my kids, it's always been funny and surprising. Every time I'm just not prepared for it. And every time I start laughing, and my reaction time is usually too late to stop it. My second son, who was just in here a moment ago, even peed into his own eyes when he was a couple days old. And I'm sorry, not sorry to say, I laughed so hard, even though he was crying hysterically, because obviously it was burning his eyes. Being a parent is tough. It's a long and winding road, and it can make you feel, anxious. There's all those worries. There's a lot of ups and downs, but you don't think about how much fun it could actually be. You always question whether you're doing a good job, which, by the way, shows how much you care and that you're actually doing a good job. You get a lot of things right, and you also get a lot of things wrong. But let me tell you, there are so many laughs and memorable moments that come with parenting that you would never experience otherwise. Yes, even peeing and pooping can take on a whole new meaning and be a completely new experience when you have kids that you could never have anticipated. And as you can see, even to this day, the rainbow pea and chocolate pudding poop stories are two of some of the most memorable events that occurred to me because they introduced me to the wonders and hilarities of parenting that still make me laugh out loud to this day. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, thank you so much.